Hi everybody, welcome back to Rowan Town. This may be a little bit longer than my short ones I've been doing recently, but hopefully not too long. As you know, I'm doing modern image and I've bought a load of these points to go on my upper level, which is up here. I want to see if I can make a realistic looking concrete style. I've got this set of points here that I purchased and I broke. I tried soldering and I sort of dislodged this whilst I was doing the soldering. I mounted the plastic and basically broke it. So I thought this is a good point to use as a demonstration or a test to see if I can get a kind of concrete looking colour. Now I know they actually have got a bit of texture on it and they look a little bit different, but you know, that's, yeah, neither here nor there. I guess once you've done a little bit of sleeper grind weathering over the top, you won't notice it too much. But I'm going to give it a go, see if it's worthwhile. If not, I'll just leave the points with their wooden sleepers and say no more about it. So I've picked up some white primer and I'm just going to use some very basic black and white acrylics that I've got from a local hobby shop, and I'm going to see if that makes, if that works. I've given my white primer a bit of a shake. I've just picked up a brush. I haven't really chosen why I should use that brush, and I'm just going to use my old paint pot. So this is the Vallejo white primer. And now I'm going to just set about painting. So I'll come back to you once I've finished. First coat has been done, just got to let that dry. So it's got a white primer on it, so that, well, I just need to see how that is going to cover that kind of dark brown wood sleepers. But yeah, it looks a bit of a mess. But obviously you can clean this stuff up with a bit of water, because it's only acrylic paints, and rubbers to rub off any stuff on it at all, and a track rubber to clean off any paint that gets on the track, if this is actually an operational point. So I'll let that dry, and then we'll come back and see how well that is covered, to see if we need to put another coat of white primer on, or we can then start going to trying to get a colour similar or close to the Peco concrete. To me that's got a bit of a green, very small hint of green in there, so we will see. For the test, I'm not particularly worried too much about it being 100% perfect. This is just a test. It's a little bit patchy, but I'm not too worried about that. In fact, I found if you put a little bit too much acrylic paint on it, it does smooth out the ripples. It's like a, I don't know, like a filler in some respects. Anyway, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to paint it all over, and we'll see what happens. So I've decided I'm going to use the white primer that I've got here as a colour. So I'm going to just try to take a tiny bit of black and just pop that in and stir and see what happens. God, that was the tiniest bit, and it's gone way too grey. Way too grey. Right, I'm going to just take a tiny smidge of green and add that in. And I'm obviously going to need to have some white, so I'm going to dollop a load of white in, because it looks like it needs to go quite significantly lighter. That was the smallest. I can't believe how much black went into that, and it's made it very, very grey. Again, I think I'm going to have to add even more white. It's just pummeling that in. Right, give it a quick stir. Get a touch of green. Put a bit in there, a touch of green, see what happens. Certainly some brown. This is literally every colour under the sun here. So if I touch a brown into that, that's gone too much. Actually, That is not too bad actually. Let me just try a touch of brown. This is probably going to trash it completely. To me it needs some more green. Don't look too bad actually, that colour. Doesn't look too bad. I want to maybe just lighten that a touch. Do I want to lighten it up? That doesn't look too far away from that Peco colour. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that on the points. Okay, let's give this a little bit of a go. I've got quite a bit of paint on that brush, so let's see what happens. Let's just coat down the centres first. So the first coat is done of my cement based colour that I mixed up using some very cheap acrylic paints. They may be a little bit too thick, but it may give a kind of cement looking colour to it. So I'll be interested to see how this actually looks when it's dried. I'm going to leave it to dry now overnight and I'll come back to it. Now obviously there's a lot of paint on different places which I should be able to get rid of with a cotton bud if need be, but I will put some rust on the actual tracks just to see how that looks, because that will hide any of the white paint that I have, or the primer that I've accidentally added to the sides of the rails. Handy to have a scrap point available just to test this on, but it doesn't look too far off that colour of Peco concrete plastic. So from a distance, hopefully you can see, here's the points. I've put some rust down the outside of the rails. It doesn't look too bad, to be honest, and if you compare it to a set of flexi track, yeah, paintwork's not smooth and it was done quite quickly, but I think it's a reasonable option. So I may well just do that to those 4 points that I need to put on the top level to make them look more kind of concrete based sleepers. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe, the like button, and I'll see you again at another time. Bye for now.